Hey, everybody. We are back again for Austin Sports Weekend here in the beautiful uh, uh, SevereTV.com studios. Thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up like this. And thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. They gave us a couple of little props here to a couple signed helmets to use as props here for our show. But we are going to talk about some NFL Week 2 football. We're already into week 2. I mean, football. You can't wait for football to get here, and then it seems it just zooms by whenever it does get here. But we're going to cover the week 2 games, some winners and losers, and then we'll jump into week 3 and do some picks there. We had a lot of action this week too. Starting off on Thursday with
the Eagles and the Vikings.
The Vikings at the Eagles. We had
the Vikings are struggling severely with turnovers. They've had 7 turnovers in their past 2 games.
Honestly, I'm not going to put all of it on them letting Dalvin Cook go, but I'm not going to not let that go either. I think losing Dalvin Cook really set their team back.
What's with bad decision-making in the front office?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there, but I think they should have kept Dalvin Cook, and they're in a little bit of a mess now. They're 0-2 starting out the year.
And they've lost 2 one-score games. It's like the opposite of last season.
Last season they won 11 one-score games. This year they've lost
2
one-score games. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. And we'll go ahead and throw that stat out on teams that start out 0-2. The difference between starting out 0-2 and 1-1 is at 0-2, you go to the playoffs
11%.
11% of the time.
11% of the time.
And if you go 1-1, it's over 40% that you make the playoffs. So
it makes a difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference between going 1-1 and going 0-2. So the Vikings now find themselves driving the struggle bus.
Those turnovers did bite them.
Turnovers bite them, yeah. The Eagles, the offense looked fantastic, but honestly, I'm worried about the Eagles too because I don't know if their defense is as good as it was last year. I mean, they gave up 28 points to a struggling team, so I'm not for sure. I'm not going to give up on the Eagles, but I'm a little worried about that defense there. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into our Sunday games. Starting off with the Jets at my Cowboys.
And the Cowboys manhandled them from the beginning.
Yeah, the Cowboys won. I was really looking forward to having Aaron Rodgers there, but the injuries took him. And we've had some big injuries this year, taking out some top players, so we'll cover that as we go along too. But the Jets quarterback again, Mr. Wilson, threw how many picks?
Give me a 1, give me a 2, give me a 3.
3 interceptions he threw. So the Jets, I think now, I think there's about 3 or 4 teams now that are on the Caleb Williams lottery. And
you say the Jets are on that path, just 2 games in there.
I don't know. The Cowboys, I don't know. And again, the Cowboys, I'm not going to crown the Cowboys king yet, even though I'm a Cowboys fan.
They've outscored their opponents, though, 70-10.
70-10 is not a bad start. We had the Raiders at the Bills.
Josh McDaniels putting up yet another substandard coaching performance. I don't know why he's even still employed with the Raiders.
I don't know. They gave him full control of the team, and he got rid of players and pulled in players and did everything. So I'm not for sure. The Bills, I'm not a huge Bills fan, but I do like the Bills. I got a soft spot for the Bills, and I was really happy to see them score some points.
No turnovers for Josh Allen this time.
Turnovers for Josh Allen. Again, I'm not completely convinced on the offensive coordinator.
Ken Dorsey has had a lot of struggles.
He's had some struggles his first year plus being the offensive coordinator, but we'll see. We'll see. We had the Ravens at the Bengals, and oh my, I had the Bengals turning around there. Burrow is playing with a strained calf.
And it looks like it.
And he's having a little bit of a problem there, yeah. Again, starting out 0-2, if there was a team that could make the playoffs starting out 0-2, I think it's the Bengals because they just need to get healthy. They're having a little bit of trouble now because they're not healthy. And the Ravens are improved. I think they're still trying to find their way to the team that they want to be. But I still think the Bengals make the playoffs, even starting out at 0-2. But it's an uphill struggle now. We had the Chiefs at the Jaguars.
The Chiefs' offense under Matt Nagy has struggled a little bit.
Now I do like the Jaguars have a good defense. They've got a really good defense. But the Chiefs' defense holding the Jaguars at home
To 9
to
points.
9 points is a positive for the Chiefs, because the Jaguars finished on a little bit of a tear last year. They looked like they were going to go out and maybe make the playoffs this year, and they still may make the playoffs. But scoring 9 points at home is not very good. We had the Chargers at the Titans.
Brandon Staley, I've got a few choice words for you, my sir.
Brandon Staley and the offensive coordinator,
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, who was with the Cowboys forever and one of my favorite coaches.
Kellen Moore.
Not. I don't. They just find a way to lose. Kellen Moore finds a way to lose.
And that
the big
offense
games. I don't know.
Always, his offense always falls apart in the last few minutes.
And the Titans, they needed that win.
And they got the win, and
Really,
the
really
Chargers
bad.
now are staring at a 0-2 deficit.
The Chargers are 0-2, and I don't think they will not make the playoffs. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I do not think that they will make the playoffs.
So Brandon Staley is relieved of his duties. He should have been
think-
relieved of his duties last year, but
Yeah,
that's
I don't-
my opinion.
That was my opinion too. I don't think he's got the mostest talent that he does the leastest with. I think.
And Brandon Staley, after the game, got testy with a reporter mentioning the Jacksonville blown lead last year.
Ooh, sore hurt feelings. We had the Packers at the Falcons, and the Falcons. How about them Falcons? How about them Falcons?
The Falcons are 2-0, and they got a win against the Packers.
You want to know who I think is the next up and coming star in the NFL?
Bijan Robinson.
Man, he looks good, don't he? Bijan Robinson. It reminds me of Fancy Mustard, Bijan. But I mean, he looks good.
Yeah,
He looks like the real deal.
and the
Of course,
Falcons look
the-
like they got the real deal.
The NFL will treat them like garbage because they're runners. I've got a beef with the NFL right now and the way they're treating running backs. But hey,
running backs are exchangeable right now.
I don't own an NFL team, but hey, but I'm seriously, Bijan Robinson, I think he's not the reason for the Falcons the way they are.
But he's gonna be a big reason.
Huge part of it right now. The Falcons may win that division, and I was not going to say that at the first of the year.
Arthur Smith, though, he was trying to establish that physical Titan style with that running game.
Yep, and it's looking pretty good. Hey, now Arthur Smith, you want to know a team that misses a coordinator?
Tennessee.
Tennessee misses him as their coordinator. We had the Seahawks at the Lions, and this is a surprise too. The Seahawks are
Continuing to trend
they're decent. It took overtime, and I really thought the Lions would win this one too. That was one.
Seahawks
That
got
was one
the
that
coin toss
that's the one I whiffed on a little bit.
Seahawks got the coin toss and drove it down the field with Tyler Lockett scoring that touchdown to win.
Yeah. So Lions are 1-1. Seahawks are 1-1 too, aren't they?
Yep.
So there we go. We had the Colts at the Texans. Somebody had to lose the game, and we said it would be the Texans, and it was the Texans.
C.J. Stroud had a decent day, but Anthony Richardson had a decent day until
Anthony Richardson, and again, this is a reason that I worry about quarterbacks that come into the NFL that are so athletic that sometimes they lean on that athleticism more than they lean on their quarterback skills, and sometimes they get hurt. And he didn't get hurt,
but a little concussion.
he went out with the concussion protocol after he scored a touchdown. And again, he's not looking bad, but I would rather him be a little bit more careful with some of those.
I wonder
runs.
if the Colts are going to develop him as a passing running threat like Cam Newton once was.
Cam Newton was, Michael Vick was, in the old days, Randall Cunningham,
Steve Young.
We've had some good running, passing quarterbacks, so you can develop them into it. You just hope that they can get to that point. We had the Bears at the Buccaneers. Oh my, oh my.
Baker is cooking up something in Tampa.
And the Bears, somebody has a bearskin rug on their fireplace right now because they're done.
Justin Fields has not progressed.
I'll call them done right now.
But Justin Fields has not
the Bears
progressed.
have been eliminated from the playoffs in week 2.
Week 2.
I think so. I mean, really, I think they've been eliminated from the game in week 2. They haven't developed Fields, and Fields was a good quarterback. He went Ohio State, Ohio State, and I think he was a good quarterback in college. And he's went to the Bears, and they haven't developed him. For some reason, the Bears have a hard time developing quarterbacks. I don't know if they don't focus on quarterback or I really don't know. But
I think the Bears won the Super Bowl in 1985 with
defense and running.
Do you even know who their quarterback was?
Yeah, McMahon. I only remember him because he was flashy.
And who was the guy that the Bears lost to Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl? Who was the guy who got there? Sexy Rexy Grossman.
Sexy Rexy Grossman. The only reason I remember that's because he was a Florida Gator. But yeah, the Bears have not developed that superstar quarterback that other teams have, and I think that's going to be a continuing problem with them. The Buccaneers, how about those Bucks?
Baker Mayfield trying to overcome Todd Bowles.
I've always been a Baker Mayfield fan. Honestly, I've been a Baker Mayfield fan. When he was with Oklahoma, he looked like a fantastic quarterback. He came to Tennessee and played, and it was a fantastic. When he went to the Browns, I thought, man, the Browns won their first playoff game in I don't know how many years, and hooray! And for some reason, they decided to blow the team up.
And then the Panthers got him and decided to not use him.
Yeah, they brought him in, I think, just to fill a spot till they could get their draft. I think that's all that they were doing. And I don't blame the Panthers for that because look at the quarterback they got for their future. I mean, that was a win-win. Now the Bucks are looking pretty good with Baker as their QB. And I mean, he ain't throwing for 350 yards a game and 5 touchdowns.
But he's winning football
he ain't
games.
Losing games.
Baker's playing well enough to win football
games. He ain't
games.
0-2. He's 2-0, ain't he? So hey, we had the Giants at the Cardinals. What a game! That was
Joshua
really good.
Dobbs.
Joshua Dobbs
had
threw for close to 250 yards and ran for another 50 yards. Had a throwing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. His second full start.
And man,
his
did
third
he look
week
good.
at the team.
He looked really good with Arizona.
He looked fantastic. And
until
honestly,
the coaches decided.
I think the Cardinals, and I'm gonna say this out loud. I think they're tanking for Caleb. They played good enough to win that game. You want to know how many 3-and-outs they had before the last 2 drives? 0. You want to know what they did on the last 2 drives? Run, false start, 3rd and 13. Run, false start, 3rd and 18.
There's got to be some questions about the competitive flair of that team.
I don't know, but they were up 28-3 with, I think it was 4 minutes left in the third quarter. They were up 28-3. 28-3.
Oh, no.
And lost. It was 28-7. Might have been 28-7, but it was 20. It was something like it was 28 to a single-digit score, with 4 minutes left in the third, and they lost because the coaches pulled back the team. That's what I think, anyways. We had the 49ers at the Rams. Man, that was a fantastic game. The Rams again are better than I thought they were. They almost took care of the 49ers.
But the 49ers got 2 interceptions because of their stout defense.
The 49ers, again, I think I still think they got the best defense. The Cowboys may be really close to them with defenses. But and I do like Brock Purdy. He's come in as the Mr. Irrelevant that may be the Super Bowl MVP.
That's very relevant.
Yeah. We had the Commanders at the Broncos. I really thought the Broncos would win that one, too. The Broncos are 0-2 now. How about the Chargers 0-2, Broncos 0-2, Chiefs are 1-1.
The Raiders are 1-1.
Raiders are 1-1. What I thought would be one of the strongest divisions now only has 2 teams that are 500. So, again, you never know.
Let me tell you one thing, though.
It's only week 2.
How many times can you blow a first half lead? In 2 straight games.
The Broncos look unbeatable in the first half, and then come out in the second half.
Sean Payton He struggles with halftime adjustments.
He's losing. I don't know if he's lost or the assistant coaches have lost their halftime adjustments. They're not adjusting to the team like they should be. I don't know why, but they're struggling a little bit. And how about the Commanders 2-0?
2-0. Eric Bieniemy trying to run that show.
If Eric Bieniemy gets them a little bit better each week, what their quarterback name? What's his name? Howell.
Sam Howell, their young quarterback out of North Carolina.
He's not looking too bad. There. We had the Dolphins, the Patriots. I think we had the Dolphins picked tonight when they won 24-7.
17.
Yeah, 24-17.
The Patriots get started way too slow for my liking in a game.
Yeah, but again, they adjusted as they went. I still think Bill Belichick is an offensive and defensive genius-minded quarterback. He's defensive oriented. He will take away whatever is going to hurt his team the most, and he took away all the deep shots that the Dolphins normally take. They dinked and dunked and middle and seam passed and stuff like that and still won the game. But for the Dolphins to go up there and do that, I think it tells you that the Dolphins are going to be a really good team this year. I think they may be hard to beat this year. They may dethrone the Bills in that division.
Possibly.
I think there's a possibility. Monday Night Football, we had two games. We had the Saints at the Panthers.
My offensive line, I'm going to be frank.
You're still struggling with your offensive line.
I'm going to be frank with this one. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, the offensive line's a little sucky there. The line was 3 points, and it was 20-17, so that was the push.
How many times did Bryce get flushed or move around? Or
I would say more than he didn't. If there's a 70% chance, that's probably a 70%er right there. So, yeah, the Saints look okay. Again, the Falcons may be the best team in that division right now.
In terms of performance, I'd say they are a good candidate.
They are right now. We had the Browns at the Steelers, and the Browns.
The Browns had it until Nick Chubb got injured.
Nick Chubb, prayers to Nick Chubb. I hate seeing somebody injured like that, especially he had already had one full reconstructive surgery on that same knee in college, and then to go into the pros and have that same thing. Again, whenever players go from college to the pros, I forget about who they played. I mean, I don't forget, but I don't judge about who they played for in college. Nick Chubb was a Georgia Bulldog, but I loved him in the NFL. He was a fantastic player. From 2000. What was it, from 2019 or 2017 to 2023, Derrick Henry had the most rushing yards, and
Nick Chubb had the second most, and now he's going to
be out the rest of the year.
Spend the year on the rehab. I hope he recovers. I want to see him play.
Yeah.
From Georgia Bulldog to the Dog Pound.
Yeah, and the Browns went from looking pretty good in that game to Deshaun Watson having how many turnovers?
Count them at home, kids. 1, 2, 3.
3 turnovers for Deshaun Watson.
How much money are they paying him?
We were talking. He's under a $270 million contract, and I mean, Baker Mayfield now has more passing yards, a better completion percentage, a better QBR rating, and he's under an $8.7 million contract. I don't know. Maybe the Browns management makes some bad decisions.
Oh, my head hurts.
Yeah, so
Deshaun Watson is not going to get you to the postseason.
No, I don't think. Man, he was out of football, and he's had. I don't know.
Man, he turns the ball over more than he makes any good plays. And you see him in the pocket. He cannot. He does not have any IQ when it comes to throwing the ball out of the pocket.
Again, I think he's 3 years older than what he was when he had his last fantastic season. 3 years out of practice, 3 years away from football, 3 years, and he may not have the athleticism that he did when he was 3 years younger, and that may be playing into the reason that he's not as good as he was back then.
If he plays like this, I think he's playing his way out of the Browns.
I think Cleveland got into a bidding war with him, with a couple other teams, and just like we were talking about, just like you get on eBay or something and you're trying to win something, and sometimes you pay 3 times as much as you should for the thing on eBay. I think maybe the Browns got into a bidding war and ended up paying way too much for a mediocre quarterback.
And Luckily, though, even though it's going to be a lot of money, you can eat his salary if you release him if he does not improve.
Yeah, yeah.
Which does make my sister feel better. She's not a fan.
Yeah. My daughter Tiffany, hi Tiffany, is a Browns fan, but she's not very much of a Deshaun Watson fan. So
To be frank, in terms of his play, neither am I at the moment.
No. Let's jump on into our predictions for Week 3. We'll start out Thursday night. We got the Giants at the 49ers. I'm going to take the 49ers.
The Giants, we forgot to mention this earlier, but Jalen
Oh,
Hyatt.
yeah. Jalen Hyatt. How about that?
Two
Jalen
catches
Hyatt
for 89 yards.
caught 2 catches and was the leading receiver for the game. And again, prayers up for Barkley. Barkley got injured too. I said there's been some really bad injuries in the NFL.
It all
this
started
year.
with Aaron Rodgers.
It all started with Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to pick the 49ers over the Giants. The Giants did come back from 21 points down.
Showed a little grit.
Showed a little grit there. So
Brian Dable.
Yeah, so Brian Dable. But I'm still picking the 49ers. 49ers are favored by 10. Do you think they beat the Giants by 10?
With how well San Fran has played.
I'm going to say yeah. We got the Panthers at the Seahawks. Seahawks is favored by 5.5. I'll probably take that too.
Seahawks are playing well right now, and the Panthers O-line continues to struggle. I think the Seahawks continue to improve with this next game.
Yeah.
As much as it hurts me to say, I just got to be honest.
Yeah, and again, we were talking, if your Panthers are going to end up having a subpar season, which they probably would anyway.
If we get the number 1 pick, it's going to be Caleb Williams, though.
No, they won't pick Caleb. No, honestly, they would probably trade out of the number 1 pick and then end up with a 5th and a 7th pick or something, and then get a couple good linemen, a couple good people for them.
I just want to hope I at least win 2 games or 3 games at least.
I think they will. I think they've got talent. They'll just have to come together a little bit, and hopefully that offensive line will get a little better. We got the Cowboys at the Cardinals. Dallas is favored by 12. I'll take the Cowboys
Dobbs
minus 12.
is going to have to face the force of Dan Quinn and the wizardry.
I said the Cowboys have gave up 10 points to 2 teams, so I think the Cardinals
are pretty much stuck.
They're pretty much stuck on that. We got
Dobbs, I hope you brace yourself for Dan Quinn.
Again, I hope Dobbs goes in there and throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but I do want the Cowboys to win. So we had the Colts at the Ravens. I'm picking the Colts again. I'm picking the Ravens again.
You're picking the Colts.
I was about to say, oh no, I'm not picking the Colts. Going to pick the Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 8. There's a lot of lopsided games this week. Normally, you don't get a whole lot of 8 to 10 point NFL spreads. Most of them are 2, 3, sometimes 5. But the Ravens should handle the Colts,
3-0
especially
start.
if Richardson is still out under the concussion protocol, which we don't know yet. It could be way more than 8. We got the Titans at the Browns.
Oh, what a conundrum that is. That's a bit of a family war with that one.
That's a little bit of a family war, yeah. Family and friends.
If the Titans' offense struggles, the Browns have this one in the bag. But if the Deshaun Watson turns the ball over a lot, the Titans have this one.
If Nick Chubb was playing, I'm Browns. I would be Browns all the way. And doesn't it suck to get robbed of Derrick Henry versus Nick Chubb?
We can't have nice things sometimes.
No, we can't have. We can't have shiny things. Honestly, I'm sort of tossed up on this one now. The Titans
if the Titans' offense struggles, then the Browns have this one. Like I said, if Deshaun Watson plays like he has, then the Titans have a chance.
The Browns' defense is really good. Myles Garrett, he's
ferocious.
really good. He's
ferocious.
Really good. The Cleveland's actually favored by 3, I guess, because they're at home. What do you think? Do you think the Browns might win it, or do you think the Titans might win it?
It really depends which team shows up.
I'm going to go Cleveland just because they're a home team. That's probably the only reason why. If Nick Chubb was there, I would be, Browns. But I'll probably lean Browns just because they're the home team.
If they get Kareem Hunt, though, it might somewhat make it less dire. But
yeah, if they could bring in a good running back, yeah. We got the Broncos at the Dolphins. The Broncos start out 0-3.
And Sean Payton, he's still probably going to blame Russell Wilson, even though Sean Payton's not making good halftime adjustments.
No. I think this will be a good game, but the Dolphins favored by 6.5. I think that's pretty good. We got the Patriots at the Jets. I'm gonna take
Belichick usually schools the Jets a lot,
and that's without Aaron Rodgers. So they're only favored by 2.5 at the Jets. I gotta take the Patriots. 2.5 points. Do you think the Patriots will beat the Jets by more than 3 points? Yeah, I'm going 10 points. I'm going like 27-17, or might even be
for any
24
fan base
to
that I
14.
feel bad for. It's that one.
It's the Jets. Yeah. I do feel bad for the Jets. We got the Bills at the Commanders.
That's going to be a nice game.
That's going to be a nice juicy game.
Josh Allen stopped. It's probably most of it's not his fault, but he's turning the ball over a little bit too much.
He did turn over last game.
He did not turn the ball over last game,
And they
so that's
scored
positive.
38 points. So I'm going to go Bills here.
All right, Dorsey, make sure you don't turn Allen into a turnover.
Don't mess it up. Again, the Commanders are a good feel-good team, but I don't know yet exactly how good they really are yet. So I got to take the Bills until I see, a bigger slice of pie from the Commanders. Got the Falcons at the Lions.
This is a nice one.
This is another nice one, too. The Falcons are unstoppable. The Lions cannot afford to go 1-2.
They got to stop the round and pound Falcons now. That's revitalized themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's been a few years since their last playoff appearance, and they've changed their team a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to probably still go Lions, but I think they might be fall back into circle the wagon mode. So I'm going to go Lions there. They're favored by 3. I'll take that. We got the Saints at the Packers. Packers are playing pretty good. Saints are playing pretty good. Both of these teams are pretty good.
Got some good matchups this week.
Yeah. So some of these are lopsided, and some of these are sort of hard to pick. Falcons line a little hard to pick. Saints Packers a little hard to pick. But I'm probably going to go. I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going to pick the Saints winning at Green Bay.
You want to pick the Saints to be 3-0?
3-0. Yeah, I'm 3-0.
Derek
Saints.
Carr era is about to start off well.
I think so. Yeah. We got the Texans at the Jaguars. Jaguars by 10+ points.
The Texans got schooled by the Colts, so I think they might be the worst team in football.
I don't think the Jaguars are going to score 9 points and then come into this week and have a bad offensive. They will figure out a way to score 20+ points, maybe 30 points this week. Got the Chargers at the Vikings. One of these two teams is going to be 0-3 and just about out of the playoffs.
We got Brandon Staley over there with his twiddling his thumbs with his big old play sheet. And his defense is giving up 124 points in their last 4 games.
Vikings. You convinced me.
And Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. That makes a difference, too. This is a straight-up even pick. There is it's 0.
I hope Justin Herbert can overcome the bad coaching that's around him.
What leans me most in this, I'm a Justin Jefferson fan. So
the guy is a phenomenal athlete.
For Justin Jefferson, I'm going to Vikings. We got the Bears at the Chiefs. No, I'll say the lopsided may be the Jaguars Texans. No. The Chiefs may beat the Bears by 20.
They have gone backwards. What the heck happened to the Bears?
I know. I'm going maybe 30-13 there. I'm going 17 points. It could be bad. Steelers, Raiders. One of these two teams are going to be 1-2.
Okay, this is a no-brainer. Who was the head coach of the Steelers?
Tomlin.
Who's the head coach of the Raiders?
Oh, yeah, okay. I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers.
Kenny Pickett and company, 2-1 is what our prediction is for the Steelers.
Yeah. And Vegas is favored by 2.5, so we'll go with the Steelers. And then our Monday Night Football games, we got the Eagles at the Bucks. We do have some good games.
Do the Bucks go 3-0 in the Baker Mayfield era?
I don't know.
Here's their chance.
The Eagles are so good on offense, but the Bucks are pretty good on defense. I probably go Eagles again.
Eagles with the O-line.
Yeah, I don't trust the Buccaneers enough to put them ahead of the Eagles yet. I do think the Bucks are a pretty good team. I did not pick them to be this good this year. Did you really?
Not really.
Not really. So you got to give them credit, but I'm not going to put them ahead of the Eagles. We got the Eagles -5 on that one. And then last we got the Rams-Bengals. I'm going Bengals here. I think they have to pull it out, and this is their first win of the season. Cincinnati's favored by 2.5. I just hope that, again, Burrow playing with an injured calf is the worst thing that you can have as a quarterback. You can't push. You can't. And that's how you aim the football. That's how you put power into the football. That's how you do everything is you push off your leg. So I don't know. But anyways, that is our NFL recap of week 2 and our picks for week 3. We hope you had a little fun with us. Be sure and share us with your friends. Thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up with this beautiful studio. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Got some cool helmets here for that too. Other than that, check in next week for more NFL football, and we'll have a little college football here too.
See you next week.
See you next week.